Thanks everyone for joining us today on this web panel discussion on omni-channel, its ongoing and its future trends, shift in consumer behavior, and its key success factor. Right. Please note that this webinar is been planned into two halves. Right. The first half we are going to talk on the trends of omni-channel, the shift of consumer behavior, right, and a lot of other things. Right. In the second half, we are going to talk on the key success factor of omni-channel and its execution. Right. So it's more like a movie with an few minutes interval in between, but we'll make sure that here. So for the first session, which is on the trends of omni-channel and the shift in consumer behavior, we've got two, Mr. Swarandeep Singh. He is a managing director of Logic ERP Solutions. Mr. Singh has, more than 25 years of experience in IT industry and has worked and traveled with top notches, across the globe, right? He's an extremely experienced campaigner on providing technology solutions. Under his guidance, I would say Logic ERP has more than 35,000 happy and satisfied customers. The best practices and the best solutions for his customer. On the other side, we have Tejas Kadakia, the co-founder and director sales at Easy Rewards. Right? Tejas has a 15 years of experience in customer, relation management, marketing. Currently, Tejas is heading sales and business development at Easy Rewards. And from my personal experience, I would say Tejas actually builds relationship, like a magic, right? He inspires and he motivates people around him with his conversational and entrepreneur skills. Right? His love for tech innovation, it actually drives him and helps to create. I am Raju Dedia. I head the pre-sales help you to seek answers to the questions related to the omni-channel customer experience. One thing that I would say, and from my recent experience of the past 4 to 6 months with this COVID-19 unfortunate event which has happened, which has changed the retail and the retail landscape, I would say, I want to summarize the situation saying that tomorrow has come early for e-commerce. Many things which brands had planned for future, I think this has come a little bit early and, has started, this to have taken the front seat in strategies of this. Before I move ahead and we start the question and answers and we try to understand and request, Swarandeep Ji and Tejas, if they can briefly explain within 60 seconds what their companies are doing and how they are helping their existing customers and the future customers. Swarandeep Ji, maybe we'll start with you on this.
Thanks, Raju, for a wonderful introduction. We cater to manufacturing, distribution, and retail industry on-premise as well as on cloud on single database, which works real-time. We specialized in advanced modules of retail like allocation management, WMS, inventory balance management, and advanced replenishment. Today, Raju, Tejas, and I will take you through omni-channel strategy and post-COVID era. Thank you.
Thanks, Swarandeep Ji. I think that's a wonderful thing. Tejas, yes, over to you now.
Thanks, Raju. Hi, everyone. My name is Tejas Kadakia, co-founder of Easy Rewards. We're about a 9-year-old company managing end-to-end CRM programs for retail across industries. We manage over about 150 brands, over about 20,000 stores currently across all verticals. Here we technically manage the workflow of understanding who the customer is, what the customer does, and is there a mechanics to bring them back. And as a part of COVID, we've created a super tool built on, which is called Shopster, which we believe is the future of how brand and the customer will engage and shop. It's completely built on conversational commerce, and it's got a mechanics on doing contactless shopping with video calls, and it uses tools like a WhatsApp, Viber, line chat, etc., where the customer is engaging with them to get it going. Look forward to have this call today with Raju and Swaranjit ji, and see how we can take this session rocking.
It is the few keywords which I would pick up from you, from what you explained, and I would want to understand more, which will help our audience over here, would be, conversational commerce, Viber, WhatsApp, how this whole social thing is changing Omni and helping the retailers to connect better with their customers. I think we'll be more interested to, hear on those lines in the next 45 minutes or so. Right. Just before we begin, I would just spend another 60 seconds on Vinculum, introducing Vinculum to people who are not aware. We are a 13-year-old company, a SaaS platform, enabling growth for brands and retailers. The mission of the company is helping brands and retailers to sell anywhere faster. Right? We have series of tools. Basically, it's a suite of products, and which helps brands to list products onto the marketplaces or web stores, seamlessly. Manage orders and inventory from their warehouses or any of the third-party warehouses. Does payment reconciliation for the orders which have been fulfilled for the marketplace, right? And we have to get the orders, fulfill those orders from your warehouse, get the payments from marketplace, reconcile it. We basically do an end-to-end journey. And with Omni solution, we help to connect the offline, online, in both of them. So this is a short introduction about Vinculum. We'll now move on to our series of questions, and we'll take it up one by one. Right. So the first thing I would like to ask both of you, right? There's a lot of omni-channel spoken, right, in and around. Order fulfillment, online, offline, merging, customer experience, seamless journey, many such more things, right? Stat says that, the companies who have adopted omni-channel strategy, they actually, on a year-on-year basis, they gain 91% of customer retention compared to the businesses which have not gone for Omni or which have not completely synced with the Omni-channel. Right? Early days, Omni-channel was all about customer experience, right? But with this particular thing, it's every day and thing, the dimension of Omni-channel is getting changed. Some says it is Omni-channel is be where your customer shops. Some says Omni-channel is a multi-channel strategy. Maybe first question that I would want to, ask to both of you would be, as per your, understanding, what is Omni-channel according to you? And what do you feel is the best explained Omni-channel strategy? And why is it so important and relevant for the brands today to go Omni-channel? Yeah. Swaranjit ji, maybe we'll start with you on this.
Thank you, Raju. It's a nice question. To prevent confusion, an omni-channel strategy is not synonymous with a multi-channel strategy. A multi-channel strategy means that your customer experience spans multiple channels. So you might have a website, an app, as well as a physical store. An omni-channel experience means that your brand has a presence across channels, and all of those experiences are integrated in a way that enhance the customer experience. According to N number of international surveys, omni-channel consumer spends more money than a single channel. As these customers engage with brands at multiple touch points, more engagement means more data. More data means a better customer insight, when you can understand where your target customer are buying your product, you will be able to understand where your marketing budget is best spent, and your every penny will be spent according to your customer. Brand exposure and awareness, thanks to multi-channel e-commerce, you'll be able to drive customer between your various avenues. According to service, so more than 85% retailer says the omni-channel is a top priority. Yeah. So omni-channel is a great, so like for retailers.
Okay, I think there is a voice lag. Yeah, Tejas, over to you on the, I'll just repeat the question. What exactly is omni-channel according to you? What do you feel is the best omni-channel strategy explained? And why do you feel it is relevant and important brands to go omni-channel today?
As you know, I think as Swarnandji was saying that, people get confused between multi-channel and omni-channel. Now, the way I define an omni-channel experience is that as long as the customer is getting the same experience, irrespective from where he's shopping, either online or at store, that's something which is critical for a brand to deploy. Right? And what's happened is brands have been waiting, saying that we will do it later, but the later has not come. But now at a point because of the pandemic, it has just accelerated the mechanics for brands to make sure that the experience that they were having in store needs to be applied online or any other channel where the brand is engaging with the customer. So as long as the brand is able to get an experience for the customer, irrespective from where they're buying, is what I would define as an omni-channel experience from a brand perspective and purely from a customer perspective. The other thing is, why is it important? Obviously, you guys have done some phenomenal job in it. Is if you look at brands which have created a part of doing a concept where the inventory which is not available in a store and available in another store is still shown, which is a part of Omni technically where, people though they define it as an endless aisle, etc. But the mechanics of just implementing that simple interfaces has brought in about anywhere from 8 to 14% of revenue purely from that store itself. So I always believe is that this is the time where you have to make sure that your online ecosystem, your offline ecosystem, the mechanics which you are engaging the customer remains common and uniform at a customer level. And so the customer does not really care from where he's buying, as long as he's got the trust within the brand. Is he buying online? Ideally, what brands have started doing is that their online ecosystem versus the store is different. As long as what we believe is that as long as you can keep the inventory, which is common, be it online or offline, is where the next level of experience will take place. And that's the focus which the brand should do. In fact, one of the surveys, there was a Gen Z which has just come up. There are only 9% of them are actually shopping in stores, right? And about 90% of them shop online only. So have to make sure that whatever is available offline is available through another channel, and the experience of getting it delivered needs to happen seamlessly. So that's my core definitions for you and why I believe it's useful.
Thanks, Tejas, and thanks, Swarnandji. What I can summarize based on what you guys have just said, I think the touch points, right? The touch points of the customer have increased over the years, right? I was also reading some article, where Google had presented some numbers, and where it said that few years ago, typically there used to be 2 touch points by a customer with a brand during a day, right? And there were around 7 to 10% of people who were having around 4% of touch points. But the recent trend says that, that average consumer is spending around 6 to 8 touch points in a day, right? And nearly 50% of them are spending more than 4. And when we talk about touch points, typically in a day's journey, the customer is, looking at the mobile in the morning, he's browsing through brands ad, while he's moving towards office, he's looking at some banners or visiting showrooms and stuff. So touch points have increased, right? And with this, what has also happened, right, that the scenarios of omnichannel has also, now changing. We had scenarios where it was more of a web rooming to showrooming, where customers used to go to the stores, browse, come back to the home and order. right? Then there was a ship from store, and there is a click and collect. Things are changing at a rapid pace, right? Next question that I would want to place forward for both of you would be, what are the omni-channel trends? Today, where the customer is buying from, and is there a change in terms of omni-channel before COVID and after COVID? And is customer experience still a driving factor for omni-channel? Since we are talking customer experience, maybe Tejas, I'll ask you to answer this first, and then we can move to Swarandeep ji on this one.
And your first point is customer experience driving? Yes, definitely. Right? I mean, the brands, the thing which we were discussing yesterday also, the brands which have deployed customer first CRM and are now getting the customers to buy have significantly seen better results. Customer experience is the thing in the way customers are going to shop. So there is no doubt on the part that is customer experience driving it, definitely. Now, from a trend perspective, what you are asking is that the customer is now going beyond 4 touch points in a day to really interact with the brand. Now, if that's the case, I think the most critical thing is that is the brand really communicating to the customer the same thing across the 4 channels, which is the most difficult thing, right? Right now, the brands, in fact, at different channels are not communicating the same thing to the same customer. So one of the things which I believe that the adoption should happen is that the brands need to start adopting a strategy where the communication is common across the channels where they're engaging with the customer, which can enable the customer to have that in mindset that, okay, hey, I'm seeing the common communication, common level of marketing, and that enables me to help buy from the channel which I like to buy. Obviously, the brands who are purely offline have started moving to online, right? So even the smallest things of creating the cataloging right, creating the inventory right for making it uniform across places is the first step that has to happen. So I think that's one critical factor which we are pushing a lot of brands to start doing, that try creating catalogs which are meaningful for online channels, right? Because just taking a photograph of the store is not going to be sold on a Facebook or a social channel or on online itself, right? So you really need to invest on this channel on its own. So I strongly believe that that the brand has to make sure that the communication is consistent. The second is that the level of marketing they're doing in all channels is consistent. And again, which I had said in the last point also, that make sure that whatever is available offline is available across the channel. Right? I think that is the first step towards moving to omni-channel, and I think that's where a lot of the brands are doing it, but a lot of brands also struggling in it. Right? So I think that will become the next level of things that the brands will have to start doing this year itself. Okay.
Great. Swarandeep ji, your thoughts on the trends of omni-channel, where the customer is buying from, any scenarios change before and after COVID?
Well said by Tejas also. See, like, I have a lot of customers in the fashion industry who didn't have presence on digital platform. Now everybody is going with e-commerce as well as the marketplace. Say like, I say 90% people are talking about, say, okay, we should go on e-commerce and the marketplace, and they are on the verge of, say, like getting into the e-commerce way on the omni-channel as perspective. Second, see, like, we have seen in the supermarkets, they never used to receive 2-3% orders before COVID. And in the lockdown, say 80% orders were received by WhatsApp, right? And in this lockdown, one more thing happened. Due to less working hours, doing billing as well as delivering and receiving stocks is getting Herculean task. So they opted cloud model so that they can receive orders and billing can be done while sitting at home, and delivery is done from store after so delivery is done. So after unlock 1, we provided them the app with the name of Aaptak, which is common platform from retailers can upload their inventory and receive orders and home delivery with feedbacks from customers, which is highly successful right now. Selling on marketplace and having a website are an integral part of omnichannel.
Thanks, Swarandeep ji. I would just, maybe I have a follow-up question because we have spoken about marketplaces here, right? In past few months, in fact, before COVID, if I remember correctly, there are very few marketplaces who were allowing omni-channel experience to the brands. As in, if the brand has to use their store network, they had to register every store as a pickup point. But what is done and what has happened in last 4 to 6 months, that marketplace have now changed their omni-channel scenario. They are now becoming more and more omni-friendly to the brands, and they are expecting brands to jump over this marketplace race also. So how do you see marketplace playing a critical role in omni-channel? And from a brand's perspective or a retailer's perspective, what are the things that the market or a brand should be cautioned about when he's selling on the marketplaces? And does a brand have to limit himself to a web store, or he needs to get into both of the strategies of
Tejas, like you want to say it's a marketplace, say like plays the role in this retail era, in the omni-channel? Hello?
Yeah, sorry. Hello?
Yeah.
I think you were saying something. Your voice got cut.
Yeah. Is it, Raju, are you asking about the marketplace role in the omni-channel?
Let me put this up. So say before COVID, there were limited marketplaces who were doing omni or allowing omni as in multiple store pickup. But now during this COVID, multiple marketplaces have started, right? So likes of Flipkart, Amazon, Ajio, all are jumping and asking brands to enable their multi-store inventory and then start onboarding them. But from a brand's perspective, do they have to join this as in ways? Because what we have seen is marketplace actually gets you thousands of eyeballs, right? Whereas if I'm doing a brand specific web store, I need to have a strong digital presence and stuff. So from your experiences point of view, is marketplace a good strategy for a brand, or is it a web store only? What's your take on that?
Raju, according to me, it's with the growing e-commerce in India, fashion and lifestyle category is evolving one of the biggest gainer in India. One of the key concerns for the brands say like it remains choice for the format of the e-commerce with a rapid growth of marketplace like Mantra, Flipkart, Amazon retailer. They like retailers are bound to think if they sell on a marketplace or create their own e-commerce shop. According to me, both have the advantages and a disadvantage also. If any brand is a small, say like any brand, say like they have a huge advantage of provides an additional channel to the market and sell your products, right? So you can't have that kind of a database which these marketplaces have. And it is see like these platforms reduce your marketing costs also, right? And allows you the new opportunities sell to the overseas also, right? And these are the testing platforms. And see, as well as these are the some advantages, and it comes with some disadvantage also. See, like we need to share certain percentage of commission also. And as if we look into the customer, say like we don't have customer ownership if we are selling through the marketplace, right? So we can't send some customer packaging also. There's a brand dilution is also there. But on the say like if we have our own e-commerce stores, right, we can give the brand experience the way we want, right? We can do our customer shootouts also, right? But again, there is a lot of capex and opex is involved into it. But according to me, for your branding of your brand, say like You need your e-commerce also, but see your presence all over into the 1,600 cities of all over India. You need to be on the marketplace also. This is my.
So you say that it is purely still a brand's call, but in today's world, we should be, a brand should be there where the customers are shopping. And currently, marketplace is, although there are limitations on the brand delusions and stuff, but still marketplace is having an edge, to grab more eyeballs and to head that sale to that customers or the brand's pocket.
Yeah, that I already told. So like you can't have, because not even a single brand have that kind of deep pockets like the Amazon and Flipkart have.
Okay. Going next to a different question altogether. We've got limited time and we need to cover many things. Tejas, to you, right? You guys are using data, right? Pandemic has actually changed the psychology of the customers, way they used to buy before and way they are buying now, right? Can you share some insights on changing, consumer trends and behavior? Will this be a new normal altogether, or will it change? And what does the data say? What are the numbers which are coming out of the data?
So we did some surveys. In fact, we've done 2 surveys during pandemic itself, because we manage over some 120 million customers across groups. Some of these are pretty interesting, and I think we are scary. 40% of them have said that they're spending more time on social media than ever before. 74% in fact have said that shopping from home itself is going to become a new norm. So, people are not comfortable to go to store, but they're comfortable shopping with the store from home, right? From tier 1 cities, we are seeing a majority of women are happy to schedule a time to go to a store. 77% of the customers are actually saying that they are more than happy to chat or to shop with a brand which has an option of chatting via WhatsApp or any of the chatting mechanics. And I'm just giving you some of the numbers because we've just done the survey. 73% of them have actually said that they would love to have mechanics on innovations on payments which are contactless in nature, right? So can they get it delivered without touching anything and the payment goes through? 2 other interesting things. 75% of shoppers right now are shopping for casual wear, which they were not, right? 68% of people are shopping for cosmetics and personal grooming. So from, and about 40% are shopping for shoes and slippers. So these are some of the numbers which we have seen that have come from the system itself. 2-3 other interesting things. About 70% of them are willing to maintain their current wallet share post-lockdown, right? The other one, which is very critical, specifically because of the kind of audience there is today, that about 40% of the people are saying that they will wait for about anywhere from 4 to 7 months after lockdown to go to a store, right? Which is a significant number. So obviously the concept of, putting the web store on, putting the conversational commerce on, I believe will start becoming very, very critical. It's not like a fad, but it's becoming reality. And we have seen results from brands which we've done conversational commerce today. As long as payments are seamless, there is hyperlocal delivery happening. It is surpassing the commerce sale for a lot of brands which are functioning today. So these are some of the numbers of these surveys which we've just done, and I thought it would be a good, interesting fact to share with it. Happy to share that whole document. I mean, we've done an extensive survey on it, and I think it could be good for your, especially the people who are attending the session.
I think Tejas, thanks for sharing those numbers. Some of them were really, really interesting one, right? And what we can do is, as a part of we're recording this webinar, we'll make this available on our YouTube channel as well as our company page, and we will also try to send across the documents what you have to all of the participants, so they can get more insights, right? Maybe we'll take a last question before we move towards the Q&A section. Right, and then there are a few interesting questions I can already read on the Q&A side, right? So based on the discussion so far that we have, having, it looks like omnichannel is no more a luxury, right? Brands, it's not a luxury; it's now becoming more like a necessity. right? Some of the things that we have heard and we have understood that it is becoming important for the brand to, join this particular omni-channel thing. So where do you think the omni-channel is going from here? How does a brand starts as an omni-channel journey, given that it has not started yet? What are the first few steps that a brand has to take, and what are those careful steps which the brand has to, invest in? So maybe Swarandeep ji, we can start with you, and then we'll move towards Tejas on this question.
Raju, say like we need to check, say with the household names like Toys R Us filtering with the bankruptcy, following a nonviolent approach to digital transformation. You can't help but assume that some organizations out there are looking at an omni-channel strategy as a luxury rather than a necessity. But as we grow deeper into the era of IoT, can any major brand truly afford to neglect? To go ahead, we say like to any brand for an omni-channel, first, the strategy, like you need to be a one customer, whether your customer buys from your website or from your store, his points should be accumulated in one account and he can redeem those points at any channel. This also helps to send the personalized promotion to your customer. Second, it should be a one inventory, whether you have your own e-commerce site or marketplace or the EBOs or your mobile app. Your inventory source should be one and updated every time on a single inventory source, right? Third is one PIM. One PIM is a one product information management. This implies that the product description or image should remain same regardless of any channel. This will help build trust with your customer. If a product is listed on your website and is different than the same article on your mobile app, or it doesn't match with the store display, it leads to disconnect, which then leads to lost sales and customer. Fourth, it's most important is a reverse supply chain. Customer should have the freedom to return at any channel. Like if he bought something online, he can return at your store and he can get credit note, which he or she can redeem at online or at any other store, and vice versa. This enhances customer convenience and experience. The first step to achieve into the omni-channel is a real-time inventory and single database. They are the key to smooth and efficient internal processes. Is directly impacts and enhances the experience of a customer. If a company is working off of multiple databases, for example, every store, e-commerce, a marketplace, and warehouses, etc., is working on a different databases, which are syncing at intervals, none of the platform will have accurate information at any given time. There will be chances of a wrong inventory, wrong commitments, and in this process, a lot of orders will be delayed and rejected due to non-availability of stock. That's it. Say like these are the important things.
Great. I think you've summarized a few things very correctly and rightly, Swarandeep ji. Maybe Tejas, over to you before we take the Q&A questions. I'll just repeat the question. Is it basically where do you see omni-channel going from here, and what are the first few steps that a brand needs to cautious of taking this omni-channel journey?
I think Swarandeep covered it well, and we've given away what I was thinking on. But I mean, if you look into purely from an omni-channel, I think there are three critical things which are definitely to be done. One, obviously, you need your catalog and inventory done right with that common database, and I think that is the most critical step to get omni correct. obviously need a technology which can enable you to do it, right? And if you're going to do that through Excel and upload, I think it's not going to work. So you obviously need a technology which can enable the Omni routing to take place. The second, obviously, the mindset, right? You really have to start having a mindset from the top to bottom that you will enable a customer to buy from multiple channels. You will enable a mechanics where even though the customer is shopping at one place, the delivery could take place for another. The third critical thing, as you were rightly saying, is with logistics, right? You have to make sure that logistics is available. And in fact, I was going through one of the other things, that 60% of purchases will happen from tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? Which means that we will have to improve logistics in those cities to enable the Omni to really take place, right? Else it's all going to fall flat. The fourth is how do you make the payments easier, right? So can the mechanics be that the customer is able to drive the same level of payments which is doing in store across platforms? That's the four critical ask which I think is required to really make the Omni to the next level, to make that experience seamless. As you rightly said, that you have to have everything with a single source, right? The customer with a single source, the inventory with a single source, the cataloging which is common across it. And in fact, we're working with 2-3 brands which has already achieved that level. But the journey is going to start for a lot of the brands now. So that's very critical that you have a mindset which will enable you to take place right from onboarding the product to outbound. So I think that's the four critical asks which I would say a brand should do to really apply Omni correctly. As you know, one of the last questions was that that do we make sure that the product is also available in marketplaces? I definitely will. Yes, of course, right. Shoppers Stop technically was an offline marketplace for you. And now you have Amazon and Flipkart, which is competing with that. So why would you not want to list it? It just gives you free branding. As long as you can get the logistics delivery right, I think that experience can be done really well. So
that's very well summarized, Tejas. I think with the marketplace example that you gave of Shopper Stop, predominantly Shopper Stop was like an offline marketplace where brands used to rush, but things have now changed a little bit. Let's move towards the Q&A session, and for the audience, I would just want to inform that this would be we will take the Q&A for next 10 minutes. And then there will be a break for 2 minutes and we'll start with our second series. So please don't go away anywhere. We've got a few more panelists who will be coming in and sharing their experiences in terms of how a successful omni-channel strategy can be executed, right? So just hold on and let's take few questions here. So let me read out question. Yeah. So one of the question, it says that we guys have not spoken about scenarios like store on wheels or weekend sales at residential complex. Is there a particular trend or is there a particular scenario that the brand needs to closely follow, which is going to take up in the upcoming days? Maybe Tejas, I would just want, because we spoke about Shopster earlier and we have heard about the conversational commerce and stuff. Right? Can you please explain how this is going to help a brand?
So I think a good question. We built this as a part of COVID. We realized this in March that a lot of customers might not walk to store, and a lot of brands will have to bring the store to their house. Right? So the idea that came that can we use like a platform like WhatsApp where the customer is already trusting the channel on its own. They understand how to chat, right? Because that need not be taught at all. And we think that can we use that platform to create this mechanics to get going, right? So instead of really bringing the physical store closest to their house, the idea is that let the customer shop on WhatsApp itself. We've got a mechanics where you can do a video call with the store. And with an automated bot, there's a concept of where you can get it buying, and the delivery is happening from an hyperlocal. So either the store staff delivers, or if the store staff is not delivering, we've got the hyperlocal partners in the countries which have set up where they can deliver from shop to home, per se. And I think this is a trend which is really picked up. Just giving you some numbers, some of the brands, the part on getting the customer on chat by with video call or with just pure chatting with a bot has already surpassed what the e-commerce sale was previously. Some of the brands, it is driving anywhere from 6 to 12% of the revenues through pure this channel itself. So that's the definite trend which I believe which everyone should look into. It is going to become the third channel beyond e-commerce and offline, where customers are comfortable, right? Just one more input before I think there are multiple other questions. Is that the value which the customer is shopping on conversations is equal to what he is shopping in store, right? Which is 2x greater than what he's shopping on his own on an e-commerce platform. So, so from just that three numbers, it's a significant channel approach. The third very critical thing which we've seen, that the engagement rates on a WhatsApp or a WeChat or a Line or a Viber is upwards of 18%, right? And the conversion matrix is upwards of 20%. So if there are 100 people chatting, 20 people are buying, right? Which is equal to or even a little bit higher than the conversion rate in store. Right? So this is a channel which I definitely believe is what people should look into. Obviously, the store on wheels is something that brands have started doing, and obviously, again bringing the comfort of bringing the shop to home. But I still believe that even when you bring the shop, allow the customer to still buy from the WhatsApp, he gets the payment done, and it's still contactless to carry home. So that's one channel which I think is definitely to be looked at as we go on in the journey of Omni the next week.
Yeah, Sarandeep ji, you have something to add to that?
So I think well said by Tejas also. But according to me, in the long perspective, like you should go with the Facebook and Instagram. This must not be missed because they are indirectly helping sales in your stores as well as on e-com and marketplace also. One more thing, social commerce is becoming popular like Facebook Shop and Instagram. The social media helps you in amazing customer service also, because when you develop an omni-channel marketing strategy, social media should not be out, because social media should be on top, because social media is a part of your customer lives. Usually when a potential customer enter on your website, he will immediately look for the Facebook and Instagram button. What is more like, whenever your customer wants to ask a question about your product or website, it will become easier for them to use social media. And
yeah, please, sorry, continue.
Social media helps you build trust also. If you are not on social media, you don't exist. Whenever the customer hear about a new product, the first thing they do is a check for a company on social media. They will immediately go to the reviews section and starts what others says about the brand and your product. It increases the awareness of your brand also.
I think we had a very similar question, Sarandeep ji, and the question is from one of the attendees from Indonesia, right? Which you have already answered a bit, but maybe is looking for more details. The question is, which one will you choose to build your store? Is it on marketplace or on web store or on social commerce? And which one will bring multiple effects to sales?
See, I'll recommend say like he should go all of those. If he is say like, it depends upon the person say like what kind of the product line he has. But if he is into the fashion brand, say like he should go with this marketplace as well as on the social as well as on the say e-com also. Because everybody have a different role. See,
so I think till the time.
See, if he goes, say, like on a single platform, it will not be omni-channel. Omni-channel means he should be on the social commerce also. He should be on the e-com, his own store also. He should be on the marketplace also for maximum reach.
I think to summarize that, if operationally the brand can manage it in terms of reaching out to the customer, uh, and the stores are connected, all the inventories are connected, technologically he is, if supported, I think he should be present on all three, which will help him to have more and more presence as well as more and more catch of the customer. Yep. By this, maybe we will end this first session. Thank you, Tejas, and thank you, Swarandeep ji, for sharing, your experiences and your thoughts on omni-channel. I think, and helping the brands to understand how their strategies should be created and what are some of the key omni-channel trends and the consumer behaviors that they should keep in mind, while drafting the strategy. Right. So thanks for having us here, and thanks for putting your expert advice to all of us. Yep. Thank you, Tejas, once again, and thank you, Swarandeep ji. Thank you.
It was our pleasure, Raju. It was our pleasure.
Bye.
Bye, Tejas. Bye, Swarandeep ji. Yeah. So, guys, rest of the guys, please hold on. We will just take a 2 minutes break, and we'll connect back. I think meantime we also have our new panelists who have joined in. I'll just allow them 60 seconds to put their video on, and we check everything is working, and then we'll start towards the second part of this webinar, where we talk about the execution of omnichannel, what challenges a brand and retailer faces, and how some of our customers have been able to work through that challenge and do a successful Omni implementation.
Hi, Raju.
Hey, hi, Raju.
Hi, Sachin. Hi, Rohit.
Hi everyone.
Hey, hi, Pratik.
Hi. Hi, Sachin.
Guys, we'll just take another 30 seconds, right? Please be online, and we'll connect in 30 seconds.
Sure.
It's more like a popcorn break for our attendees. Like, it's more like an interval for them. So I'll just give them 30 seconds to grow and grab their popcorn tub before they come back and they hear from you guys.
Okay. So, Pratik, your internet issue sorted out today?
Yeah, yesterday also it doesn't exist for me. I just got to know
For me
after
also.
completion of the call.
Yeah.
Am I
Guys,
audible? Like,
I
clear
think-
in all the aspects of it?
Yes,
Raju, you can hear me today? Fine.
Yes, Rohit. So guys, we are live. We are live now with our audience. We are also live on Facebook, right? So people can also catch us live on Facebook, right? So thanks, first of all, thank you everyone, all the attendees and audience, for patiently waiting for the second part of the webinar, and being there and listening to the first section. I think it was a very, very interesting first half, where we introduced some of the key elements of omnichannel. What are the trends? What are the changes in the consumer behavior, right? And how things are changing. I think some of the things that we spoke about, conventional commerce, social commerce, the web stores and the marketplaces comparison, there have been great things exchanged, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to it, to the panelists, and have taken their notes, for their individual action item. Let's begin the second part without wasting much of the time. Let me introduce to our panelists first, right? We've got 3 panelists over here who are there. We've got Pratik Kumar from Manyavar, right? Pratik is basically heading the global e-commerce business of Vedant Fashion, which is Manyavar India. Right? He has an extensive expertise in terms of setting up the digital ecosystem, where he has worked with a lot of offline players in the past. He has an expert knowledge on brick and mortar, online, all of these channels. Have worked in past with Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, Peter England, and many more brands. And, he's also worked with Aditya Birla Online Fashion and helped them to set up their e-commerce business. Second, we have Sachin Borkhade, head IT Sketchers India. Right, Sachin is again an extensive, experienced campaigner. Almost 18 years in retail industry and working for software companies. He has led mid and enterprise companies like Skechers, Escomars, Del Monte, Escada, and many more. As well as he has also worked for software companies, right, where he has built CRM and retail solutions and implemented them globally. Right. Sachin is a tech expert as well as a functional leader, and he leads strategy, technology transformation, business process re-engineering, as per the organizational growth and goals. We also have Rohit Ketan, right? He heads the marketing strategy at Genesis, right? Genesis is one of the leading India mid-market retail solution company. And Rohit's role involves in terms of bringing or supporting the new initiatives to the feedback for Genesis, right? He has studied at Oxford University, completed his MBA, and he comes from an engineering background, right? So thanks Prateek, Sachin, and Rohit for taking out time and joining us today for this webinar. We have a strong audience today, and we look forward to getting insights on how the consumers are behaving in this tough times and how brands are changing course in their omni-channel strategy, right? Maybe my first question, because we've spoken at a length in terms of what is omni-channel, what are the trends, right? I would like to understand, let's put it in this way. Omni-channel is basically, omni-channel retail, it's a dynamic space, right? And there are new challenges, new solutions which are appearing, right? And these solutions are based on consumer habits, new technology, new e-commerce, best practices, and whatnot, right? In the past years, right, we've seen growth awareness in the need of omni-channel, right? Major innovations were focused on helping retailers to manage cross-channel, shopping experiences. While many retailers are running omni, but with, very basic setup, and customers are still experiencing it, but it's not a great omni-channel experience. So what, according to each one of you, are the key success factors of a true omni-channel model? And can you help down to summarize and put down 3-4 points which actually explains these are the 4 points, and once you have done this, your omni-channel practice is a successful practice, right? So maybe I start with Prateek here. Right? Prateek, if you can help us and walk us through the success factors of omni-channel.
Good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, I would like to actually say about the Omni as a concept, right? So Omni as a term is a new term in India, which you're actually talking about since last 5 to 7 years or 8 years now. But if you're talking about the functional aspect, right, this concept is not new, right? So like if you're talking about, let's take example like if any of the customer was actually entering in any of the store, right? So far, if they don't have like a omni term setup at their store level or any integration between online to offline. By that time also, or in that scenario also, they are actually servicing the fulfilling the requirement of the customer, right? If the size is not available or any other color, if they actually want it in any shirt or a kurta or in any of the jeans. So those kind of omni-channel aspects still exist into the market. Now, what we're actually talking about the omni-channel implementation with any of the brand or put together, there we are just putting more technology, right? So the technology was always been there. We can say like we are actually integrating or relating this online with the offline factor, right? So when we are actually saying online with offline, that actually means like if you're talking about any of the marketplace or if you're running your own website, we all know that the future is not about discount, right? The brands are like even if you're talking about Flipkart and Amazon, maybe possible they're still talking about this up to 70% discount on their website, but they're not actually giving the same number of options which they were giving 5 years back, right? So that actually makes sure that or it also shows that okay, the future is all about the service or what kind of a features which you are going to give it to your customers, which will going to excite them to buy one more time from your brand, online and offline both, right? When I'm saying this, that actually means if it's your website or you're actually selling your products on any of the marketplace and you're omni ready or you have enabled the omni system, maybe possible with 100% of your stores which is present in India right now, or even a 10% or 50% stores with which you have actually enabled the there you're actually giving an opportunity to the customer being a brand. Hey, if you're buying something for me, even I'm not a essential category for you, right? Because I can say like a shirt is not an essential category, right? You can actually wait for 2 days or even a 3 days to get your order, reach your order. But groceries is an essential category. You want the atta or you can say like anything, right? To be reach your home within 3 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours. So if the apparel as a category or some other categories will also going to start reaching out or to their customers within the 3 hours or 6 hours or 12 hour scenario, that is something which is the customer need in future, right? So if you're able to actually service the requirement of your customer within 3 hours, 6 hours or 12 hours, that is something which is a key factor for you to being a brand to actually offer to your customer. At the second level, like if you're talking about what is actually happening in last 5 years or 8 years or even 10 years down the line in India market, all the brands are slowly and steadily, they are actually going live, going online. They are launching their website. They have launched, maybe possible, some of the brands have launched their website 2-3 years back, 5 years back, or even 7 years back. Some brands would have actually launched their website once this COVID situation has actually came into the picture. And some of the rest of the one who's going to actually launch the website in coming 2 months or 5 months or 6 months down the line. So why I'm saying this, because whosoever is your offline customer, they're expecting you as a brand to be present online. Then it is your responsibility to be present online to service your customer, because the customer was looking for you online because now he has actually changed his buying pattern. Maybe possible he only want to buy online, or he just first want to actually experience your brand online before buying it or entering into your offline store. These are the two journeys which all the brands is actually which all the brands are giving it to the customer. So in the third point, I can say like if you are actually offering something your customer, right? Because if any customer is actually entering into your store, maybe possible you do have 150 options of the shirts, formal shirts, blue color, but you can't. It is not feasible to open those 150 shirts to one customer, right? I'm not saying like the store manager is not going to deny to open it. The other aspect is like any customer can actually see a 10 or 15 option, then he say, okay, I don't want to see further. Let me actually buy it from some other place or from your own, from whatever you have actually opened. If in that case, if you do have the omni-channel in system, whether in the form of the endless aisle, in the form of some other format, right? You can actually show it to the customer a whole catalog of your brand by saying, okay, you can actually see everything within your mobile phone or in my iPad or some touch screen, and you can experience the brand. Whatever you will like it, I will open it and then give it to you. So these kind of a feasibility which customer actually looking for from the brand point of view. And in this aspect, there is a no touch feature is also there, right? Because of the COVID, first users or the customers are hesitating to not entering into the store. Secondly, if they're actually entering into the store, they don't want to touch anything, right? They even don't want to actually give you the cash. They want to swipe the card, right? They want to actually do the Paytm. They are only going to actually like carry the bag, which they are actually going to take it from you after paying you the cash or the money. So these kind of things are going to help you as a brand to reach it out or like relate with your customer online or within your own offline stores.
So if I have to summarize this, Prateek, you're saying channel is important, being where the customer is shopping is important as a brand. Where the customer shops, the brand needs to be there. And then technology is, also driving in these days where customers are reluctant to shop. If the customers are able to see the catalog or, do a no-touch shopping, I think these are some of the success factors which you feel are very important from in the current existing omni-channel scenario. Great, Pratik.
Yeah.
Sachin, maybe you guys have just, went live with, Omni, and you've been doing this in past and you've changed the technology now, right? What, as per, you is one of our key factors of, a true omni-channel, company?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Raju. I think most of the operational and the business model has been covered by Pratik. The online, offline, all that combination where the customer expect the brand to be available, either on his mobile or on his system, or he can just place the order from any medium of technology today. But I feel I wanted to add here what Pratik has said in terms of the system and the the true omni-channel, what it should have, and this is the challenge which brand need to keep in consideration, that whenever they look for a true omni-channel, what is the key elements or the key success factors is basically one is real-time inventory view. See, this is the very key element of having the real-time inventory, which is your store inventory or your warehouse inventory. Nowadays, the retail model is franchisee and company-owned stores. So, giving a holistic or a consolidated view of the inventory, which is at the head office level or somebody who's managing omni-channel, for him, that view is very important. And then second point is about the simplicity of operations at the stores, because this is another key factor where these stores are really they are doing the operations and they're fulfilling the orders. So the key elements, what they do usually is the accepting orders, confirming the orders, the processing the shipping labels and invoices. These are the additional steps what they do. They were not doing it in the traditional manner earlier. Getting omni-channel, these are the new steps which they will be doing it. But the important part is the partner who has the partner solution. It should be so easy, seamless. So that the store staff should be able to manage it seamlessly, hassle-free. Obviously, there are hopping rules which are being also the key element which gives an ease to the retail operations, because they can manage their inventory accordingly. And fulfill the orders which are being coming from online and offline channels. So keeping this in mind, the efficiency of inventory has been also taken care. And the third is the reconciliation, because this is, you will see a lot of solutions available, but what happens in the end is, the partner, he should know what he has earned in the end of the day after performing all these activities. So what I feel is the reconciliation of orders, incentive programs, and monitoring the stores, how they are processing the orders, and all should be available in in a touch or a daily, weekly reports. It should be handy available for him to do that reconciliation at the end of the day. So I think these are the three key success factors which are important for a true omni-channel, more from the customer point of view as well as from the organization or a brand perspective. Raju.
Great. I think, Sachin, if I summarize again your points, real-time inventory view, which is one. Second is ease of use or ease of operation, right, at the stores, how easily they can get notified, how easily they can process those orders and hand it over to the LSP. And third is the reconciliations piece, right? Yes. In terms of if the brand has a multi, brand network or a multi-owned stores or a franchisee stores, I think reconciliation, many a times people think Omni is just from an inventory point of view, yes. But operationally, if an ecosystem or a technology partner is able to provide these things, I think the ease of doing business becomes really, really, good for that particular brand, which contributes to a lot of other numbers too.
Yeah, because Raju, that point is really important in terms of reconciliation, because in the end, the store is supposed to do business and not really, getting into the ledgers and statements and reconcile that, the important time, which is in the current situation, the sale has been really a challenge for everyone. I think the technology partner has to, have this reconciliation piece available for the ease of operations and the stores.
I think with reconciliation, what you also mean to say is it's a visibility. If you are able to provide that visibility across to all stakeholders of that particular brand, this becomes easy.
Yes.
Right? We'll just move to Rohit and just wanted to understand from Rohit in terms of what is your key success factors, what from a technology partner point of view, what do you feel are the key success factors of Omnichannel?
Hi, Raju. Thanks for having me on this panel. I mean, since we are working so closely with all these brands, such in Skechers as well as Manyavar, as well as your company, I think our views are more or less aligned, and I think they have already written the book on this subject in terms of their answers. Just a brief point that omnichannel is, still trickling down to the SMB market. It's already been adopted by the bigger giant brands like Manyavar and Skechers, and they are on their way to evolving it to the next level. But in terms of the broader market, it's yet to make a big impact. Yes, everyone knows that it will have a big impact, but they are still getting their act together. The biggest success factor definitely is having the real-time inventory view, having the correct technology stack for that is utmost important. What are the pieces in your technology stack, what is a ERP, what is a point of sale, what is a online website built on, how frequently the data is getting synced. And Omni by its definition is not only your site, it is also marketplaces. So you have to see how these various systems are going to interoperate. And so having the right technology stack which can play well with all these solutions is definitely number one key success factor. But as Sachinji already mentioned that it is an interplay. Prateek also mentioned that it's an interplay now, which people realize that beyond technology, even if you get the best technology, it will fail if you don't have the people who are motivated to do that job, who are the sales staff who are motivated to fulfill the order from the store, or accept the return when the customer comes and drops in the item at the store shelf, or reverse logistics, or puts in a cash for an endless aisle, which is going to actually get fulfilled from some other store. So these kind of concepts need to be explained to your staff, to everyone in your company, and to the right incentive structure, the right policies need to be framed for that, including a bit of complexity is there around franchisee model. So with franchisee, it becomes even more complicated, because the stock actually belongs to somebody else and the payment might come from some other partner. And people are unaware, customers think that it is Manyavar, and Manyavar is the same, whether here or there. So, or Skechers is the same here or there. So it doesn't matter to them. But for making it a success, I have to work closely with my franchisee partners and make sure that this thing is a success. So I think these three things, getting the right policies, getting the right processes in place, how this thing will be managed beyond the technology piece. The technology piece is very, very critical. Without that, nothing will work. But even if you have this down the line, things will not work out. Malls, for example, they have revenue share agreements with malls. So there's a challenge in terms of how much percentage to give, what is the share of sale to be divided. So these kind of challenges kind of create a lot of friction in the system. And this friction is not going to go away very soon, but you need to rework it.
Great, Rohit. I think what you have also brought up few points are from an external world in terms of, what are the key elements that a brand needs to also look into while thinking of omnichannel. Another question that I might, put it forward for Sachin and Prateek right now, that are there any trends that you guys see or have the use cases for brand in specific way you used to see Omni before COVID and you used to see now after COVID? Are there any change? Are there any change in scenarios or channels or ways of doing Omni which have got changed? Maybe we can go first with Prateek and then with Sachin over here. Pre-COVID, after COVID, is there a change on omni-channel execution? Prateek? Prateek, I think you are on mute.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
I started talking. Yeah. So, according to me, like if you're talking about our journey, right, on the customer side, pre-COVID and post-COVID, like there's a lot of changes already happened, right? And for that aspect only, we are actually planning our future. So if you're talking about like since last almost 2 years or 2 to 3 years now, like earlier when we as a brand we were not actually very aggressive or very online as a channels, like whether it's a marketplace or our own website. By that time, like the customers were not actually aware of that Manyavar was available on these platforms, right? I'm not only talking about whether we were actually live. I'm just talking about we were already live on that, but we were not actually focusing on like to reach it out to as many people as we want. So, like what actually happened in last 2 years down the line, now lots of customers who were actually entering into our stores pre-COVID scenario. So they were actually coming and showing one picture to our store manager by saying that, okay, I want this Sherwani, right? And that snapshot was our own website or our brand, which or our brand product snapshot on the different marketplaces. That actually means it was giving us like an indication that customers are actually experiencing your brand online first, right? So that actually, because if you're talking, because it depends on the category to category. You can actually buy a pair of even a shoe, like not the shoes, but you can say like innerwear, right? Underwear. Because I work for Jockey, that's what I'm saying, right? So you know the size and you know that, okay, the price point of that particular product is not so high. But if you're talking about a Sherwani or a kurta or an Indo-Western or a lehenga or an expensive sari, you want to actually experience the brand first online and then sort it out. Okay, I want to buy this. Let me see, okay, which store I do have it nearby my store or nearby my place. I will go and like walk into the store and then ask for those products, right? So that was the first indication which we were actually getting since last almost more than 2 years now. The second thing which actually happened that people are always having a problem, right? Because like if any brand is giving any kind of a discount, I can say that my current and my last company, it is a zero discount. They are known for a zero discount brand, right? So Manyavar and Jockey, right? So if the customer has a short answer that, okay, I like this brand, but I know that I've never seen a zero like a 1 rupee or a 1% discount on this brand. Wherever they will like it, they will buy it also. Only thing is going to delay their purchase is to experience the brand, right? If I would like to actually buy a 25,000 rupees or a 50,000 rupees Sherwani, I can say, okay, I liked it. Okay, let me go and like visit any of the nearest store. I will buy it from there. That is the first thing. Post-COVID, what actually happened? Let's take example. Our conversion rate was earlier pre-COVID was 2%. Now this 2% has actually become automatically like a 3% or 4% because those people who were actually not buying from the website or from the online as a channel, marketplace channel, they were experiencing the brand, but end of the day, they were buying from the offline stores. They started buying online because they don't want to enter into the store for next 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, or 1 year down the line, right? So these kind of things which I have seen it. So once this COVID thing happened and the unlocked thing was started happening, so what we have started doing, like we have started taking the appointment-based booking for our stores, pan-India stores, right? We do have a 540 stores. You can easily book an appointment through our website, manyavar.com, and you can actually go and like walking into the store. The store manager will going to make sure that he's going to actually take you whatever being a customer you are expecting from the brand. That, okay, the hygiene factor, the mask thing, the sanitization, this and that. Like he is going to take care of those things. Right. So these kind of things we have changed it. At the same time, like if you're talking about Google aspect also, like Google has stopped showing the working hours for any of the brand in India for almost 3 months to 4 months, right? Where the brands has opened their shop door, right? So that was the time when the brand, like, it was a responsibility from the brand side to inform their own customers that, hey, whatever the store which you are looking for, we have opened that store. Or if it is not open on all the days in the week, then we are opening this store for 3 days in a week, right? So that was a responsibility which came to the brand side to inform their own customers that, okay, now, because there was a lot of red zone, green zone, and then orange zone, zone there, and there were lots of ups and downs were there. So customer wanted to buy the things, right? But he was just having a question, okay, if I'm going to go out from my house, it should not be the case where I'm not going to find my store or any of the brand store shut down, right? So it should be actually operational. So that is something.
So you feel that there's a clear-cut differentiator before COVID and after COVID, what the scenarios have changed and how the customers are actually shopping through your stores. Correct?
Yeah. So that has actually started seeing us, right? Because I'm telling you, like, it's one another indicator. If you're talking about the pre-COVID scenario, you can easily agree on one point, right? The tier 3 people were actually traveling to the tier 2 cities to fulfilling their offline needs, right? They were not finding the brand stores into the tier 3 cities, right? Let's take an example, Northeast, where there is one small town, right? All the brands can't open their stores over there, right? So the tier 3 cities were actually traveling to the and through fulfilling their buying needs. And the tier 2 were actually traveling to the tier 1, and tier 1 was actually going out and then buying something for them, right? We started getting even a 1 lakh value of orders from the Northeast cities during the COVID. And that itself was a prepaid order. People were paying using their credit card or their net banking to place a 1 lakh rupees value of orders, because maybe possible earlier, they were always thinking of that, okay, I will go and like reach it out to the tier 2 city, which is nearby my town. 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers, I can buy a lehenga or a sherwani. But now that option is not there. I have to, being a customer, I have to actually buy my love brand online. And that's what is all about Omni, or I can say.
So, great. Sachin, just maybe quickly you can summarize what has changed for your brand pre-COVID, quickly in few words.
Yeah, sure. See, for the ideally before the COVID situation, before the COVID, right? We are being a footwear industry. The customers, when they buy a shoe, they wanted to really try the shoe. They have to see the fit, and then they buy. They used to buy it. But then what we have seen after the lockdown was lifted, or the unlock phases, we have seen this offline customer shift to the online space. And we have seen the growth of customers buying at the e-commerce platform, that is Skechers.in. Slowly the unlock phases started. Our stores were also being open, but then there are two aspects when we open the stores. One is the safety of our customers and the store staff, and second is on the technology front, that how we can do that. So what primarily we did was we had all those preventive measures. The SOPs were in place, where we have those sanitizations. When the store was getting opened, the entire store was getting sanitized. The common touch points were regularly sanitized, which is in current SOP as well. The merchandise, if the customer is visiting and if he's trying it, it is going into a quarantine for 72 hours today. These are the few important, post-COVID situation today when you go in any of the Skechers store to buy. Apart from it, on the technology front, it is all about no-touch shoppings, conversational commerce. These are the advantages to generate more sales today. Omnichannel is another, the important aspect which are contributing in our sales today.
Okay, let's shift the topic a little bit and let's go towards the technology part of it. Maybe I have one question for Rohit here. Rohit, you and me, being on the other side of the brand, where we help brands to, execute the omni-channel strategy, right? As an organization, what do you feel are, few critical factors where brands have been evaluating a tech partner, and how does a brand looks up to a technology partner to helping them in their omni journey?
See, for us, a few key questions that regularly come up is the readiness of the solution to start doing selling immediately online and offline together. Because Genesys has always been known and associated with the offline world. And so naturally the question comes up, is it, can I start selling tomorrow? And the answer is yes, because it's a pre-built integrations that we have with Vinculum and others. Second question typically comes around the medium-term roadmap. What are we developing further along these lines? What will come up? And the third, I think, very important point, which people sometimes miss, but we kind of try and bring it up is, since there are multi-parties involved, who will be responsible? Is there any, hand-holding happening between, say, Vinculum and Genesys to look at the customer issues post go live? What will be the coordination steps that will be followed in case there is any glitch in terms of the order syncing or the inventory syncing? What will happen in case there is any change in the API? Will you be notified in advance, and will you have done some changes pre-built and pre-tested for those changes which are coming up, and there will be a planned deployment at the customer end? So these kind of things, if the customer is missing in the evaluation, we do bring it up, because it's a very important point, because it's not a single party solution, it's a multi-party solution, and therefore you have to be aware that these kind of challenges can come up. Because typically if it's something very custom built, then all these processes are not thought of. But if it is thought of as a part of your product, that yes, I'm going to own and run this with this piece, then it becomes a natural thing that you will have a testing, deployment, post-test, go live support, and so on. And so that's in short the answer about what are the key success factors or key factors in evaluation. Sorry.
Great, Rohit. We've got last 10 minutes. We'll move towards the customers Q&A section now, right? And I'll call out names and few questions. Maybe I'll try to answer myself. Maybe first question what we have is for Pratik over here. Pratik, when a brand is there online and offline both, price is always something which customer is wary of. There are use cases where customer walks into the store, checks the product, checks the price, goes online, check the price, and most of the time he finds a better price online, right? This is due to discounting. So how does a brand react to this, and what are the key things that the brand has to keep in mind, while doing the pricing strategy?
So I think if I'm talking about Manyavar, right? So we are a zero discounted brand. So we don't give any discount in online as a channel, or as well as in offline as in MBOs or in EBOs or in our COFO stores or FOFO stores and all. So being a brand, we always be in a situation where we always focus on not to give or allow anybody to give discount, right? Because you rightly mentioned somehow, right? If the time when the customer haven't even a 1% or a 5% cushion in his mind before buying your stuff or your brand product from online and offline, that, hey, let me check, I think I can get some better discount if I'm going to buy it from any of the MBO or offline store or even online as a platform. The moment these kind of things will start coming into the customer's mind, your conversion rate, even the COCA, which we call it as a cost of new customer acquisition, these kind of things are going to impact in the longer term. So if you're just relating for those brands, right, who never used to give discounts on their products, they don't even allow even a 5 days in a year to offer a discount, because those 5 days might impact their users' sentiments for next 3 months or even a 6 months, right? So that is a very slowly and steadily process, but the discounted point doesn't apply on Manyavar. In the very normal scenario, if I'm talking about the other brands, yes, users or customers usually are always having an impression in their mind. while actually buying it from any of the offline store as well as from the online stores also, right? Because maybe possible or Amazon is giving a 25% discount on the same price on the same product, where the Flipkart has just offered a 35%, right? So that's why like people are actually, or the customers are actually hopping from one source to the other, and even these sources are actually changing between the online to offline as well.
Great. One next question is for Rohit, right? If one has already invested in technology, how will that be impacted when they go omni-channel?
See, I mean, they can always check if the current technology investment, whatever they have made, is ready for Omni or can be made ready for Omni in any way through API development or through custom integration. But the attempt should always be to go for a standard solution rather than something custom built, because this Omni space is very, very dynamic. It's moving very fast. So if you go with something standard, that is better rather than some custom development, some changes around that. The fact is, it may need an upgrade, but reality is it will take time. It's a journey. So usually upgrades and changes take time. So ready to use and ready to deploy solutions are better. That's the short answer.
Okay. Maybe one question, I'll take it up. The question is Indian, it's really, really interesting one. Is an Indian consumer really matured enough to accept omni-channel? Some stats which I've recently heard and I read was an average Indian consumer is spending 4.5 hours on mobile. I think that explains that how much the customer is, using the mobile as a channel, either to watch, do the OTT stuff, do shopping and stuff. And I think COVID has contributed a lot to this, right? D2C, a direct to consumer brand, and all spoken, in the West world, but I think over a period of time, even if we see in India also, there's a lot of brands which were reluctant to go online or go omni, have now seen that there's no other option, but then to be here and, interact with consumer using your omni network and start conversation with them, right? So I think Indian consumer are really, really up there. Technology has been a part to, contributing to this, but they are really, taking omni-channel very, very seriously. Yeah, sorry, Rohit, I interrupted you. You were saying something.
No, I'm saying that Indian consumer is always omni-channel ready, in that sense, ready to adopt to new things, because I know even if nothing is available, they'll call up the shopkeeper and say, please send me this stuff, and they are ready to ship.
I think traditionally we used to do a lot of omni, right? Without technology, calling up stores, checking, like endless aisle. Before we went, before this, when we used to go to the store and if the particular product was not there, somebody used to call up another store and find out, do they have inventory or not? But now there is a technology, a way to, do this seamlessly and give a better experience to the customer. So yes, what you have said is correct. Omni was always there. It's now more about accepting the technology. We maybe move towards the last question of the day. Sachin, this is for you, right? What challenges have contributed to the current state of omni-channel, and especially during this COVID times?
Can you repeat that, Raju?
So I'm saying the question is, what are the challenges, which have contributed to the current state of omni-channel, especially during the COVID times, and what are the future trends?
The current challenges during the COVID for the omni-channel has been, obviously the customer walking at the store or the footfalls are being very less comparative to the one which was before COVID. That has really been, as you said earlier, the customer is to come to the store, and if he doesn't find, then, the omni-channel was always been present by calling. So now the technology has given that additional help to the, store to take the orders. But then if the customer is not coming to the stores, that is, the major one where we all brands, I think, are looking where we can get the customers back in the offline space, and serve the customers to their needs. And on the other part, it is another challenge which I feel is basically on the infrastructure, because for the omni-channel, you need infrastructure. Currently, the current omni-channel solutions, you will see tablets are being mostly, or the sales assisted sales assisted, like Endless L app, right? So all tablets are being used to show the catalogs and everything. I think there, the contactless shopping or conversation commerce needs to be plugged in by the brands to mitigate this challenges in this COVID situation.
Maybe I just take one more question, last one, a couple of minutes left, which is, there's one question on customer acquisition cost, right? So yes, I think omni-channel has, helped brands, to get this customer acquisition cost on the lower side, whether it is from 3 digits to 2 digits or 2 digits to 1 digits, right? This has helped it. Primarily, if we take an example of a brand which was only online, right? They used to spend a lot, on the social media to get a customer to their web store or to their marketplace, and the acquisition cost was very, very high. But though that particular brand who has now started, on offline store, there are, customers who are walking to the stores. That store can be an experience center, or it can be just a catalog store. But by default, the customers have started browsing through that store. Customers have started purchasing and registering themselves, which is in a way helping the brand to reduce the acquisition cost. So omni-channel definitely has helped or is helping brands to to reduce the customer acquisition cost. Right. So
I just wanted to add on one point on this. Yeah. So anyway, like if you're actually evaluating the omni-channel for your own brand, you must consider one more scenario: the customer who has already transacted with your own store, offline stores, all in like a twice or a thrice in last 5 years, 1 year, 10 years down the line. If you are the brand, like being a brand, you are not present online. That actually means you are going to lose that customer for the lifetime. Right? He's expecting something from you as a brand to be present on all the places, so that whenever the customer is looking to buy from your brand or from your category, you as a brand has to be there. So even like if maybe possible your offline customers are actually converting or started buying online, your customer acquisition cost in the longer aspect, don't go with a 1 month or a 3 months or a 6 months LTV. You just check for the 1+ years of LTV of your customers, and that will definitely going to give you a very positive numbers.
Okay. I think with this, we come to the end of this webinar. I would like to thank Sachin, Prateek, and Rohit once again, right, for participating and providing your insights and experience to the audiences over here. We look forward to connect with all of you once again in the near future. And till then, please stay safe and keep everything safe around. Thank you, guys. Thanks once again.
Thank you, Raju.
Thank you. Thanks, Raju.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.